I want you to see me at full speed, Skip, and I want you to try to bring me down. And when I'm dragging you, I want you to not drop your weight down to bring me down. I want you to just let me drag you as far as I can, and then eventually I'll stop when I get to the end zone. If you don't want that to happen, then just get out of the way. Get out of the game.
What the problem is?
What's crazy is the Geno Smith one.
Let me finish, Richard. I'm speaking. Thank you.
I'll let you speak, but you're not speaking from experience. So stop raising your voice, Skip. Okay. Talk to me, Skip.
All right. Are you going to let me speak or not?
Well, you're speaking on something you don't have no experience doing. So, I mean, what point can you really make?
I've covered the game for a lot longer than you've been alive.
You've covered the game. Yeah. I've actually played the game longer than you ever played. So, like, what we're talking about is something that actually happens in the game that you can't experience unless you play it.
Does Rich McCain?
You can't show me a way that you want these tackles to be corrected because you've never tackled.
That's pretty damn good. Well, can't say I didn't see this coming. Richard Sherman just went rogue. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you have players who are struggling to stick to the script. Richard Sherman said, y'all not about to have me getting tore up on the internet and coming into my place of work and having to get sunned on national television. Nah, we not going for that. Richard Sherman is fighting back. My man completely went off script with Skip Bayless on Undisputed yesterday. And no, this was not something that you can tell that they wanted planned, because Keyshawn Johnson looked incredibly uncomfortable and Richard Sherman looked genuinely irritated. And I'm just going to be the person to remind you, man, this unholy matrimony that we got between Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless came off of the heels of their previous encounter on ESPN's First Take.
Skip, whenever you refer to me, whenever you speak to me, whenever you address me as All-Pro Stanford graduate, because those are some accomplishments you can aspire to, you will never accomplish. You have never accomplished anything. But
okay. Do you think you're better than Darrelle Revis is right now?
In my 24 years of life, I'm better at life than you.
Okay.
So
all right, that's fair.
Let's get down to that.
Let's not get personal here. I just want to know.
It's not
do you think you're better than Darrelle Revis is right now?
I'm better than you.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to say that Richard probably has some deep-rooted resentment still bubbling up against Skip. And anytime old Skippy boy tries to jump out of his lane, Richard is probably going to be one of the first ones on that set to want to go ahead and put him back in his place. Skip Bayless, your time is nigh. Your time is coming very, very soon. Unfortunately, I feel like this probably means we're going to see Richard Sherman get his walking papers. Even though I absolutely despise his takes on the Cowboys, I don't want this man to lose his job. He got a family to feed, even if he is harassing them outside of a Ring doorbell. But either way, he still needs to make sure that they're fed. And you see, this was a classic example of a player only being able to stomach so much. See, you have these talking heads on TV talking about sports in which they've either never played or they've only covered from afar. That only goes so far when you're talking about the functional moving parts that are involved in playing each of these sports. This is why you're supposed to have people with a certain level of expertise. I'll be the first to tell you, I feel like I saw this coming. As soon as I saw that Richard Sherman was going to be on this show, knowing his past history with Skip Bayless and kind of having a general idea of the type of person he is, being a very proud man, I didn't think this was going to last very long, because I don't think Richard Sherman has nearly as much patience as someone like Shannon Sharpe. And not only Richard Sherman, but we're also starting to see Keyshawn Johnson kind of needle at Skip a little bit more. And it seems like it's going beyond the guise of just talking and debating sports. They've been very sure to go out of their way to make it be known to Skip when he shouldn't have much input on a particular topic. And to be real, I don't think that's going to go over too well with Skip or even the executives at Fox. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Richard Sherman receive his walking papers sooner rather than later, because I can assure you, Skip Bayless, being the petty, petulant little man that he is, he for sure is going to hold this against Richard Sherman. And at the very least, somebody had to go talk to the bosses in the office after this episode was done airing. I thought it was just kind of funny, and I wanted to cover this because we've been kind of discussing the media's antics as it pertains to how they go about covering the Dallas Cowboys and just the facade that they've been putting up. And I feel like this situation, more than anything, kind of pulls back the curtain as to how players actually really feel about these debate show platforms and these different formats in which you have people that have no real expertise speaking about things that they honestly have no place to speak on. You cannot talk about how you should be tackling on an NFL football field if you have never actually been on the field to get tackled or to have to tackle someone. You can't talk about that. If you haven't done that, you can't talk about that. So I actually agree with Richard Sherman here, but this was funny. I'm not going to take too long on this because it don't have much to do with the Cowboys. I just want to kind of laugh at Skip Bayless's pain as him being one of the fakest Cowboys fans out there. He's looking at the decisions he's made with this show and probably thinking to himself, yeah, it's about that time. Either way though, man, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this exchange on Undisputed. Even if you didn't see it, you just saw it now with this clip. What do you think about this exchange? Do you think Richard Sherman's going to be getting his walking papers sooner rather than later? And do you think it's time for Skip Bayless to hang him up? Either way, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the weekend. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Be sure to subscribe for more Cowboys content on the regular. And occasionally, me being petty and laughing at the analysts that like to laugh at our team. Sorry. Those tears taste so good.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.